Good morning, everyone. Farley here. It's March 5th. Got a college basketball best bet coming to you in just 1 second. First, let me say thank you to subscribers. I appreciate you. If you haven't subscribed, take a second to do so. A lot to follow here as we get into March Madness, right in the thick of things. Let's first talk about NBA. NBA, another 3-1 day yesterday, another winning day. Adds to the total, puts it at 26-8 since the All-Star break. So you can tune into that on the top two tiers of my patreon.com/5farley is where all those plays are posted each and every day. So hopefully some of you cashed in yesterday. Honestly, the one loss I had was one of my better bets, one of my favorite bets, which was Detroit and Oklahoma City going under the total. First half was just an anomaly, just crazy, the scoring. I mean, for any NBA team, it was like it was a Timberwolves game. And then they shut it down and went well under the total, which is what I had thought the game was going to do the whole time. Anyway, I was able to cash a second half under on that one. But here nor there, 3-1 on the day, which puts that total at, like I said, 26-8. So looking forward to keeping that going tonight. Short slate on the NBA. Should only have one play, I believe. Only one play for tonight. So stay tuned, check that out. All right, now college basketball, there's a lot to pick from. Here's another thing going on. In these playoff games, conference tournament games, 3-0 so far. So I've made 3 plays, all 3 cashing so far. So picking the spots, trying to get a home court advantage, and trying to, get some underdogs, trying to get which is what we got today in a conference tournament. So have some confidence there, 3-0 going into this one. And with that said, let's get into the best bet. Overall yesterday, by the way, 5-3 on Patreon. So there you go. All right, let's talk about today's slate because we have got a huge slate to pick from. We got some games wrapping up their season. We got the Big Sky in action. We got the Big Ten in action. A lot to pick from. Then we got these conference tournaments kicking off. The Mountain West Conference Tournament, West Coast Conference Tournament. And then we get into some of the smaller conferences as well. I'm actually going to Atlantic Sun here today, of which we have 2 teams sitting at top, Liberty, North Florida, both teams looking like they're eyeing a championship game together, which would be a good game. These 2 teams split during the season and both deserve an opportunity to make it to the tournament. Not that one would get an at-large bid. I'm saying that they should duke it out. Those 2 teams should play each other to go to the tournament. However, we are overlooking a little bit here. Now, people have really keyed in on Liberty as, the team to be. Liberty had one of the weakest schedules in the country, 342nd, I believe, according to Ken Palm. Let me take a look real quick and confirm that. It was 342nd was their overall strength of schedule. Really, really weak when it comes to pre-conference. Conference is not going to help playing in the Atlantic Sun. When we look at their opponent today, Stetson, theirs was around 280th. So a little bit better. But when we have a 28-4 record, we really got to go back and see who did they play and who did they beat of significance. And there were a couple games on there. They beat Akron, they beat Vandy. They had some decent games coming into that, and they handled their schedule as well as they could. They didn't book the schedule. You can look to an athletic director for that. And they also don't know the way these teams are going to go. That said, a lot of people are looking at 28-4 going up against 16-16 and thinking this is going to be a walkover game for Liberty. The last time they played was at Liberty, and it was a great spot for them. They end up dumping Stetson 77-49. Great win, right? Well, not people are looking into the Stetson side of things. This is a team that won 8 of 9 straight games in conference, beating most everyone, including Liberty, in that stretch. The only team they could not overcome is North Florida. They lost to them twice. The top 7 scorers on their team have played in every single game this season. They've all played in 32 games. So they've had a core group around the entire season, Liberty being the only team since the beginning of January that's been able to topple this 16-point number. Now, that said, when they played at Stetson, it was a different story. Stetson actually won the game, beating Liberty 48-43, a total of 91 points. So keep that in mind. Stetson's going to want to keep a slower tempo, as they are a slower tempo type team, as is Liberty. Now this line is down to 119. I'm staying away from the total because I think we have a side here that is going to be a really good play on, which is going to be Stetson grabbing 16 points. And here's another reason why. We have a team like Liberty that when they look ahead, they're not as talented as some of they're well coached. I get that. They play in a weaker conference, but they're not exactly a dominant team like Gonzaga through their conference that can just run away with these games. They play a slower pace. So does Stetson. To get a 16-point win is very difficult to do. And so, like I said, not a team has done it to Stetson except for Liberty the one time they played at Liberty earlier. I think Liberty is going to be looking ahead against this North Florida team that's going to be also playing against Lipscomb a little earlier. Keep in mind, Lipscomb already beat Liberty, North Florida beat Liberty, and Stetson's beat Liberty all on their home courts. So Liberty has a revenge with every one of those teams. That said, they've already cashed in their revenge against Stetson by getting that big home victory just a few weeks ago. So I like Stetson in this matchup. I think there's a ton to like here. I think there's a look ahead. I think there's now a revenge back over to Stetson's side. Not that that's huge. The bigger motivation is moving on in this tournament. But Liberty is not as good as their record overall may seem. They have 3 conference losses, 4 on the season. Their conference was harder than the regular season. By playing the 342nd ranked schedule, you find yourself at 28-4 pretty easily. So Stetson, I think, with their core group, is going to be able to put up a good showing here. I think this ends up being a 10-point loss, not 16. We're getting 6 points here. That I just don't see this game going to that. The only way it would is if we have a 20-plus point loss and Stetson starts giving up and bagging in the season. I don't see that happening. I think Stetson's going to be in this one, and we're going to have a little bit of a dogfight. Liberty's going to have their back against the wall, and I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. If I would lean, it would be on the under. But in general, I think the best play is going to be grabbing Stetson plus 16. There you go. Best bet of the day, Stetson plus the 16 points in the Atlantic Sun Tournament. Good luck, everyone today. Don't forget to subscribe. Check out patreon.com/Farley. Good luck. See you again soon.